So I've just got £500 to buy a new project car. And for that sort of money in this day and age, it's probably going to be a bit of a shed. I've spent the last few days searching the likes of Gumtree, Auto Trader and Facebook Marketplace to try and find the right car. But after a few days of messaging about various different cars, I think I've hit the jackpot. So I went to go view the vehicle, but unfortunately it had quite a few more problems than I expected. He was asking for a price a little bit over budget, but with all the problems I managed to knuckle him down to £500. And with the man paid, it was time to load it up on the recovery truck. I think this is the first time I've ever bought a car that's had to go straight on a recovery truck. Not really a good start. Cool, so the car is all now loaded up. So let's head back to the unit and reveal what I have got. I'll explain why it's on a trailer as well, because we've got a bit of a problem already. With the car loaded on the truck, I followed it back to my unit so we can get it unloaded and take a look at my potential financial mistake. So the car is unloaded and sat right behind me, so let me introduce you to my new £500 project car. That is right, I bought myself something I thought I'd never ever buy, a Mark V Volkswagen Golf GTI, and it is a 3-door in laser blue, which apparently is quite a rare colour according to all the Volkswagen nerds. It's also got a sunroof as well, which apparently is rare, and puddle lights, so the light shines on the floor, so you can basically light up all the rust a little bit better. So a few more positives, because there aren't really many, but a few more. We've got these really cool like tartan seats, which are actually in really good condition, especially for the mileage. Now I'll get you to comment down below what you think the mileage is, and I'll tell you a little bit later on. But yeah, let's open it up. And I mean, just, yeah, take a look in there. It's a little bit hanging, and it smells very like men's aftershave with a bit of fags and a little bit of BO and a hint of the marijuana stuff. I mean, it's a Volkswagen Golf GTI, what do you expect? Like, it comes factory, doesn't it, like that? Bear in mind, I've not actually like properly had a look at this yet. I've got myself a free, whatever that is, a snuddy. Is that what they're called?
I think that's a blanket, bud.
There's me trying to be all posh. Yeah, as you can tell, it needs a damn good clean. You're probably not even be able to see that on camera, but it needs a really good clean. There's a little bit of corrosion there. There's also a few little dinks in the door. There's also a towing eye, which is never a good sign when you're buying a car. You do not want it to have a towing eye on it, but I'm an idiot, so it's got a towing eye on it. Loads of paint, which is peeling off, and also the typical Mark V Volkswagen thing, where it just rusts in the boot lid. That's not going to hold. Brilliant. That doesn't hold. So that's another job. In here, we've got like a batch tray. Yeah, batch tray. I'm missing the parcel shelf, and I'm also missing the boot floor. So that's good. Come round and there's more just paint just peeling. It's not, oh God, that's really bad. It's not necessarily rusting, it's just like a bad respray. Oh, and also, completely forgot to mention, there's a crack in the windscreen. Quite a big crack all the way along. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but a very big crack. But two main good things about the car is that it starts, and it's also got an MOT for about 6 months, I think, or something like that. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit less. We'll start it up, and I think it sounds alright. You have to let me know in the comments. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot. It's only got one exhaust tip, which if you go underneath, you'll see the other one is hanging off. That needs sorting as well. It has got the standard Volkswagen thing. It's just full of warning lights. So let's plug in my car adapter and see what's wrong. Right, so we've just got to simply plug it into the OBD port, which is here. We've then got to switch on the engine. Look at all those warning lights. We're then going to load up the Carly app. I'm then going to select the car. Perfect, there we go. And then, once it's selected, we can click connect. It does sound like it's running a little bit lumpy. Now with Carly, you can do dealership diagnostics, read out live data, you can code your car to do cool things like beep and make certain lights come on at certain times. Honestly, there's loads of different things, and depending on what car you have, obviously depends on how many things you can code. But I tend to use it quite a lot on my Audi to put the car in service mode so it winds back the calipers. But it's really handy. It looks like it's now connected, so let's click diagnostics and then click continue and check for issues. And I reckon it's going to have quite a few. Okay, so it's now completed. Let's show results. But the thing is, these could be ancient codes that have been on forever. So let's just clear the codes and then we'll scan it again. And then it should tell us what actual issues we have. Okay, so it's come back with 4 issues and it says the car's really bad. So let's have a look. So the first one is, brake lights out. That's pretty standard, nice and easy. Steering angle sensor. That will explain why there's a steering wheel on the display. Maybe when we've driven a little bit, that should go potentially. Driver's door heated exterior mirror. It does look a bit rough, so yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Okay, and the last one is probably the worst one, and that is an oil level / temperature sensor. So doesn't sound like a big job, but yeah, I'd need to get that replaced ASAP. Unfortunately, I don't have time at the minute to go through all the coding features and other bits and bobs that Carly can do on this car. And to be fair, I think coding this car is the least of my worries at the minute. But if you do want to go ahead and check out Carly for yourself, then make sure you use the code on screen and also click the link in the description down below for a bit of money off. But on the interior, in terms of damage, there's a few little bits here and there, but all little things that can be replaced quite easily and quite cheap. There's one main reason as to why I managed to get this for £500. And also the reason why it's got a towing eye on the back, and also why it came on a truck. And that is because if I turn it on, and then if I try and go into gear, so it's now in first gear apparently. Handbrake is off. If I lift the gear, we're still here. The clutch is completely gone. Like there's nothing. It is completely engine kaput.
Tidin, problem, engine kaput.
So the guy I bought it from wants the battery back. However, when I went and viewed the car, the bonnet was like up on its latch. And I think I found out why. Because when you come in here and try and pop the bonnet, well, nothing happens and the bonnet's not moving. So, yeah, I think the bonnet latch doesn't work, which is why it was left up. So, I've had a bit of a look and, well, then I found out this doesn't, like, yeah, that comes off. That's just quick release because it happens all the time. So we've got to undo all that, and we can't do that at the minute because we need to get the car quickly on to the trailer again to get to Steve's, because down here we have got a brand new, upgraded clutch and flywheel. Yellow means fast. So I just want to give a massive shout out to these guys on screen for sorting me out with a good deal on these parts. If you want to go check them out, I'll leave a link to their eBay store and also this product exactly in the description. But anyway, we're going to take the Golf to Steve's to get the clutch fitted. We can also fit the new battery there as well because we're going to have to lift up the bonnet to do the clutch. Let's get it on the truck. So a big shout out to my mate Marcus for helping me out once again. But one last thing before we get on the truck is the mileage. Hopefully you guys are commenting down below as to what you think it could be. That noise.
It's lovely.
But if you come with me, I don't even know the exact mileage, but let's have a look. 168,212. So it's been around the world a few times.
All I can imagine now is videoing me and then I can hear the music in the background.
What's he just broke?
Nothing yet.
And as you can see, we had a little bit of trouble loading the car on the truck because of the angle and the fact the car is lowered.
That wasn't dodgy. So anyway, the car went on really well. Yeah.
The car is loaded on the ramp here at Hatton Engine Motorsport, ready to do the clutch. We've got all the parts down here. I've never really done a clutch before, but I have helped out doing one in the past, but yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. So before we can do anything, we need to get underneath the bonnet. So I undid all the torque screws that I could see, but eventually just popped it open by shoving a screwdriver in there. And this just revealed this absolute mess, but rest assured, I'm going to be giving this car a deep clean in an upcoming video. So make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss that. So let's start by removing some of the parts from the top of the engine, starting off with the airbox / the engine cover. It's all in one on this thing, which is a bit strange, but then we can remove the battery and the battery tray, and then remove the gear linkages. With the wheel off, it can give us access to the lower arm, so we need to remove these 3 nuts here. And then remove the main hub nut. And this will allow us to move the suspension out of the way so we can access the drive shaft, which needs to be unbolted from the gearbox. And a big thanks to Steve for jumping in and helping me out. And with that out of the way, it's off with the starter motor. And then here we're just having a general look over the engine, and to be fair, it doesn't look too bad from underneath here. And now to undo some gearbox bolts, the other drive shaft, and then the engine mount. And before we go any further, we need to support the engine, so when we undo the top gearbox mount, it doesn't just fall out the car.
Okay, well we should have said, you know, rather than crying about it. I'd say it sounds more like gearbox is knackered than the clutch, to be honest. Doesn't sound like there's nothing in there, does it?
Good news.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Don't say that. With everything disconnected and the oil drained, it was time to lower the gearbox out of the car.
If you lift that box and twist it on the health and safety. It's only one of Brett Barnes' videos.
And with the gearbox safely removed, it is now revealed the clutch assembly.
Oh, yo, there's nothing left of it. That might be why we were struggling to get the box off in the first place, because that's going to be stuck on the gearbox, and that's going to be flopping around inside there. Won't allow the gearbox to slide out from it. That's what it should look like. It should be
Connected to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this clutch was very gone.
I reckon someone's going to do a fat burnout in it. Just dump the clutch and just shatter that, yeah.
Oh my Gideon. With the clutch well and truly destroyed, it was time to remove the flywheel. Right, so the time is currently 10:30 and we've got the gearbox off, the clutch is off, the flywheel is off, everything is off, and look at the state of the clutch. That should be one piece. And in fact, it should look like this over here. This is the new one we got going on. Yeah, I think that one's at its time, isn't it now, really? So here me and Steve are just talking about clutches and how they work, and I'm just taking all the information in and learning as we go. But now the process is virtually the same, just doing it all backwards, starting with the flywheel and then talking it up to spec in the correct order. And with everything on the engine side installed, there's one last thing we got to do on the gearbox, and that is to install the release bearing. So with the gearbox bolted up in place, we want to make sure we can bleed the clutch okay, and with that all successfully done, I'm now just going through and putting everything back together. So, I think we're done. The battery's in, everything I think is all plugged in, screwed in, we've filled up the oil, I think we're good to go, aren't we?
Bit of the truth. Yes. What's the clutch like?
It's hard to tell yet what it's going to be like when it's on the road, but at least we know it moves and nothing's gone bang.
Oh, well done, Brett.
Yes. Okay, I've now teleported and I'm back at the unit with the GTI behind me. I had it recovered here because I don't really trust this on the road, even though it's got an MOT and I could technically drive it. I don't really know the car. It's got a big crack in the windscreen. I haven't got a rear number plate for it yet, and there's a load of other issues, and I'd rather not, just to play it safe. But I do just want to drive it around this industrial state just to make sure everything works and the clutch and the gears, everything like that engages properly. So this is genuinely the first time I've ever driven this car, other than out at Steve's garage. Service, typical. Okay, right, let's see if we can get second gear. Does it stop? Hopefully. You know what? Does it reverse? It drives alright, I think. There's one thing I must admit though, I really like these seats. They proper keep you snug and tight in the seat. Like, you're not going to go anywhere in these bad boys. But now the car runs and drives fine, I cannot work on this car with the interior like it is. So we need to get everything out, starting with the seats. And with the seats out, it has revealed this absolute mess. This is by far one of the dirtiest cars I've ever seen. And at this point I thought it'd be a good time to remove all the parts that had a lot of wear or that were completely broken. And I'm going to order new replacement ones so we can fit them in the next video. And yes, that is me laughing on my own because I hit myself in the face. And with the seats out and the broken parts removed, I want to remove all the seat belts so I can send them off and get them retrimmed / upgraded to a completely different colour. But taking apart this interior was fairly easy. It was mostly clips or like these multi-spline bolts. But I think the hardest seat belt to remove was the one in the rear bench seat. And just like that, the car is completely stripped. And I think that's probably where I'm going to stop for today's video.
The car is pretty much stripped now, and I've basically removed all of the broken parts and removed the seat belts for a little upgrade in the next video. But there is literally parts absolutely everywhere, and we had to basically destroy this seat to get it out. But yeah, I mean, they didn't make it easy, did they? But this is pretty much how I'm going to leave it now until we get the seat belts back.
So I'm going to send the seat belts off to get upgraded, and you'll see that in the next video. And then, yeah, we'll get them back in the car, get new replacement parts for all the broken bits, and then once that's all in, we can then give it a deep clean.
And I think that is going to be very, very satisfying. There's a couple of things that I've noticed recently about the car that need replacing, and that are like the bonnet struts and also the boot struts. It definitely needs a full service because the oil in that is disgusting. Probably going to have to do like a flush and get rid of the syrup that's in there.
But yeah, there's loads to be doing, and there's definitely a lot of content coming on this very soon. But I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this car. But if you did go ahead and enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, and also subscribe, and I shall catch you guys very, very soon.